truly unsung, unknown, unappreciated, and unsung. This is the story of Kevin Foster. So now I'm in Augusta, Georgia. I remember we were all packed into this Pinto wagon. There were, at that point, six of us. Yeah, that would be me, my sister Fawn, my sister Darla, my sister Tiffany. Oh, I'm sorry, my brother Darren was before her. My sister Tiffany and Jason, my little brother Jason. We all packed into this Pinto wagon with my mother and father, and we on our way to Augusta, Georgia. The South wasn't a place that I ever thought about living in, including Florida. We'll get to Florida too. But we got to Augusta, Georgia. You know, my grandfather was already there, the Reverend Bates. The next day, I remember sitting out there on his truck and seeing some of the finest women in the world, but I'm not going to get into that story either, that were living right next door to him. The school I was going to, the high school for my last year, was Lucy Craft Laney High School, Laney Walker Boulevard. The school was very similar to Eastside High. The marching band I got into was really basically the same thing. Eastside High was they did the thing that they were doing the FAMU's Marching 100. That's what Eastside was basically trying to do. It was all pretty cool and pretty much the same thing. Mr. Mason was the band director at Laney. If I didn't mention it the last time, Peter Nelson was the band director at Eastside High School. I never got into chorus when I was in Eastside. I probably couldn't. I don't know what the story was, but the chorus was something that I probably would have been more interested in, because I was in choir or chorus when I was at Eastern Christian. We did a lot of the other, like I said, was different culture of music. We did "Oh, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain." So it was really pretty cool to learn all of that stuff when I was at Eastern Christian. But I didn't get back in the chorus at Eastside High. When I got to Laney, I did. The chorus director was Miss Pollard. Miss Pollard had to be one of the favorite teachers. She just, she really cared about the singing thing, and she got me involved in a lot of things. She got me into the America's Who's Who Among American High School Students. My name is in that book somewhere. I remember seeing it at the time, but I pretty much never looked at it again. I never really was crazy about a lot of those awards and stuff. But she got us into a contest one time. We did the All-State. We did a lot of the All-State choir stuff. That we won a lot of. We got involved in a lot of those different contests with Cantante Domino, that type of stuff. It was really cool. You learn a lot of stuff from that. But we also had another contest where I had to sing a song, Edelweiss, Edelweiss. That was one of the songs that I had to do, and we were being judged by these 4 judges. And I remember the reason I didn't go further in that contest, because one of the judges wrote that I sang the song too much like a crooner. Hey, that's pretty much what I was at the time. But that was the reason I didn't go any further in that. Then we did a quartet, the barbershop quartet thing. Me, Frank, was a couple of other guys that were involved in that. The female side, the female version of what I was doing in the music thing was Bettina Johnson. Bettina Johnson was one of the best singers that I knew that I liked her voice. I saw her one time in an auditorium. They were singing. A band was backing her. Later to find out that one of those band members that I'm working with right now was David Heath. But anyway, the young lady Bettina Johnson was singing a song called "Free." I swear she sounded better than Denise Williams. That could just be me. Maybe I was just infatuated with Bettina Johnson. I don't know. Either way it goes, that girl sang the heck out of that song. And I really learned a lot watching what they were doing. But Laney, I really respect and enjoyed being in that school. It was only 1 year. Out of Laney, I ended up in Payne College. By this time, well, probably even before then, I was playing behind the choir at my grandfather's church. My grandfather was a pastor, Reverend Bates, at St. Paul. We were living in the bottom, what they call the bottom now. I was living on Sterling Street in East View. And the church that I was playing for, his church, was St. Paul. And I was making like $50 a Sunday, I believe it was at the time. We ended up moving into the Meadowbrook area. Well, I was already at Payne College. My other sisters and them got dragged into Glen Hills. They ended up at Glen Hills High. I did not like college. I just wasn't into. I didn't want to further my education as far as that was concerned, because the only field that I thought I could go into was teaching music. I never had the patience for that, to teach people, what I was doing. It's just that it didn't work. So I spent most of my time at Payne College in the little piano rooms, playing behind different people who wanted me to play for different things. Also at that time, I was playing for a church, Green Grove Missionary Baptist Church. I think it was on Old Savannah Road. The people that I was involved with was, you probably know now because he's state representative, Henry Wayne Howard. Wayne Howard, I don't know how I ended up meeting this guy, but he had a store downtown on Broad Street in Augusta, Georgia, and they were helping me out with buying clothes and different things like that. That was their church at the time, and I was playing for their choir. I can picture certain things in my head at that time, but I know that was the church, Green Grove Missionary Baptist Church, and the Howards were involved in that church at the time. So this was before, he got into the politics and everything. I'm sure his father and some of his family members probably already were involved in the church, because there's a street named after Henry Howard. So there was some things had to be going on at the time. But I was 16, 17 years old. I didn't know any better. 17 by the time I got to Payne College. But the atmosphere and the music and everything was great for me. I wasn't making that much money. The only money that I was making was playing for the churches, and then I was turning that money over to my family because they needed help financially. So it was like I still just could not get into what was happening in Augusta, Georgia at that time. I did meet a lot of people, and I did get involved in a lot of different things. I got involved in one of the talent shows at Payne College, and I remember because I sang Easy. It was supposed to be with my boy Frank, Andre Hart was supposed to be involved, but they chickened out at the last minute, so I ended up going on the stage by myself playing and singing Easy, and I ended up winning that contest. The Green Ice was one of the bands that played there. They were doing this Parliament Funkadelic thing. I thought was the coolest thing in the world as well. But that was the only thing that I got involved with at that particular time. I spent most of my time at Payne College playing pool or foosball or watching the Gong Show or even playing spades. So I got out of that. That was that 1 year. After I got out of there, I ended up going right back to Paterson, New Jersey. 18 years old, I'm on my way back to Paterson, New Jersey.